This one is a multiple-parter on art theft in the Low Countries, but for it all to sort of tie in and make sense, I'm going to tell it through the eyes of Van Eyck's altarpiece, a 15th century oil painting which is now in its home in Ghent, not too far from here. So it was painted in the 15th century just before the Reformation, and it is a miracle that it survived because in the Netherlands and Low Countries there was Beeldenstorm, where the people destroyed a great deal of artwork. Now, the same thing happened in England and Switzerland, but here in the Low Countries it was particularly destructive and wasn't led by the government. The movement can be traced back to open-air sermons held by Anabaptists and the likes just outside of town limits where they could avoid persecution and escape the authorities. And the destruction began in 1566 when pilgrims attacked a chapel in modern-day France. Mob and the idea soon spread north, and Nicholas Sander reported that the mob were dashing carvings, destroying paintings, even destroying whole libraries, and even urinating on church property. Plus, even a Welsh Protestant said that Antwerp looked like hell, with 10,000 torches burning books, paintings, that sort of thing, and the smoke could be seen from miles around, but the Ghent altarpiece was hidden. Fast forward to the 20th century and it was subject to abuse again, because I've read reports that during World War I the Germans tried to find it, and some reports said that some panels were sold to the Germans, whereas others say that all panels were hidden during the war. Either way, at the end of the war all the panels returned home, but in World War II the Nazis stole it. It was later stored in a salt mine, but the monuments managed to find it and return it home. Well, all except one panel, and nobody knows where that is. However, I want to focus on Napoleon's art theft instead, because everybody knows that Hitler stole art, but Napoleon also wanted to turn Paris into the cultural center of the world. So he began stealing art from conquered nations. For instance, he demanded that the Papal States give him 100 pieces of art in 1797, and later 86 wagon loads of art were taken from Bologna. Even Napoleon said that he had stripped Italy of everything of artistic worth, with a few exceptions being in Naples and Turin. And some of the more famous artworks included the Horses of St. Mark, which were taken from Venice, but they in turn were taken from the Byzantine Empire during the Fourth Crusade. Stolen pieces of art helped turn the Louvre, which was then essentially an empty palace, into the greatest art gallery the world has ever seen and still is today. And even over in Amsterdam, Napoleon's brother was able to create the Rijksmuseum with stolen art brought to the Netherlands. However, after the war, a sculptor, Antonio Canovo, and Prussian diplomats took it upon themselves to see all the work returned home, and the Ghent altarpiece was returned home after hanging in the Louvre during the Napoleonic Wars.